Anyone familiar with history, anyone who knows anything at all about history, knows that when the government starts arming up, the people are about to have serious problems. Pearson Sharp. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Please hit that like and subscribe button. It makes a big difference. So we've seen the headlines. The IRS just hired a freaking army of new agents. 87,000, roughly 34 times the number of troops currently stationed in Iraq. In fact, the new Inflation Act gives the IRS $80 billion, a 600% increase from the agency's budget last year, which was just $12 billion. This officially makes the IRS one of the largest federal agencies, way bigger than the Pentagon, which only has a measly 27,000 employees. Actually, this puts the IRS ahead of the entire State Department, the FBI, and the Border Patrol, which we obviously don't need anymore. Why protect our border when we can just audit the hell out of anyone who complains about securing the border? And you better believe that's coming. It's already happened. This isn't a conspiracy theory. The IRS has already been used as a weapon against conservatives. And that was just the practice round. Now we're in the big leagues, baby. Back in 2013, under Lois Lerner, the IRS was caught, not suspected, but caught, targeting conservative political groups for additional reviews. Now, on top of all of that, they're literally weaponizing this army. They're giving these IRS agents guns, lots of them. The agency already stockpiled $700,000 worth of ammunition, and that's in addition to the 5 million rounds of ammo they were found collecting back in 2017, and nearly 5,000 guns. Again, these are accountants. What do they need guns for? Just look at these absolute chads in this new IRS training video. Are you ready for this donut gobbling Fed boy to plow through your door at 2 in the morning demanding your receipts? The fact that they're arming accountants should tell you everything you need to know. I mean, the job posting literally says IRS agents should be prepared to carry a firearm and be willing to use deadly force if necessary. Look at what they're doing, not what they're saying. The problem is the IRS isn't the only problem. Our radical government is arming agencies left and right. Even the Department of Education has agents that can invade your home at gunpoint. The agency has already assaulted the homes of private citizens, busting down doors in the dead of night, waving their guns around, and holding families hostage. In 2011, a Gestapo squad of education agents raided the house of a man named Kenneth Wright, dragging him outside his home at 6 in the morning with guns drawn, threw him down on the grass, handcuffed, in front of his wife and children, one of whom was just 3 years old. Apparently, these Stasi agents were investigating his ex-wife's use of federal aid for students. But she didn't even live in the house. Why does the Department of Re-Education need SWAT teams to break into people's homes over student loans? Now that's bad enough, but there are over 80 agencies with these kinds of military task forces ready to kick in your door and arrest you and your family for any imaginable infraction. The list of agencies with armed goon squads includes the Department of Agriculture. Better make sure all your duck hunting licenses are in order because they've got over $1.1 million in weapons and ammunition. The Railroad Retirement Board, if you can believe it. The Tennessee Valley Authority. The Office of Personnel Management. Don't forget your TPS reports. And the Fish and Wildlife Service. That's not all though. It gets even crazier. The U.S. Postal Service, the Social Security Administration, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has a police division. Who on earth is NOAA going to arrest? Some teenagers who don't put out their beach campfire? On their official website, NOAA describes their mission as an agency that enriches life through science. Our reach goes from the surface of the sun to the depths of the ocean floor as we work to keep the public informed of the changing environment around them. Apparently, they're going to enrich the hell out of you with a few rounds of 5.56. And let's not forget the EPA, using military hit squads to enforce their unconstitutional laws against us.
My job as a federal law enforcement officer is to investigate allegations of environmental crime. We are what I call the pollution police.
We have broad-based criminal investigative authority, arrest authority, carry firearms. We are full-fledged federal law enforcement officers.
We work with a variety of federal, state, and local law enforcement organizations investigating environmental crimes. Each agent has to possess a level of expertise through their training to be able to partner up with our fellow law enforcement organizations.
We employ individual skill set training, whether it be environmental, investigative, or use of force.
Stop where you are.
And then we couple that into what we call scenario-based training using multi-force options.
We need to deal effectively with any threat from any individual who might want to cause us harm.
And now they're spending over $75 million a year to maintain hundreds of agents armed with guns, body armor, drones, radar and night vision gear, and amphibious assault ships. In 2012, a man named Larry Keller sent an email to the EPA asking for contact information for his local EPA administrator, and armed EPA Stasi agents showed up at his door interrogating him about the email. I had students when I was teaching in China who told me their parents were arrested and taken away because they wrote a letter about their taxes to the government. That's where we're at now. In 2015, EPA agents raided a local gold mine dressed for war because they heard the mine might be violating the Clean Water Act. And 2 years ago, the EPA announced it was going to be cracking down on businesses that modify cars. So you can expect armed agents to show up with guns drawn the next time you modify your exhaust. And each of these fascist agents costs American taxpayers over $216,000 a year. All these unelected bureaucrats in these agencies we didn't vote for, creating secret police to revoke more of our rights. And there's absolutely no accountability for them whatsoever. They can do whatever they want and no one stops them. And now, with Biden calling conservatives fascists and hiring 87,000 new IRS agents who are armed, you better believe that sooner or later, they're going to come knocking at your door. Or maybe they won't knock at all.